of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Big up. How you doing? Welcome into the channel. Welcome into the show. Episode 216, the Untitled series right here on United Spurs of America. Hope you're too blessed to be stressed. Happy Friday night. It is a little late for you in the UK, which unfortunately is the case, as my guest, it was return of the question marks. That guest is actually not going to be able to make it. He just texted me while I was doing the intro there. He says he tried to keep his eyes open, but he could no longer keep his eyes open. So my guest is actually not going to be here. So guess what? It's just me and Chewy tonight, as far as the eye can see right now. So big up to you if you are here. Welcome in. How you doing? Good. Happy Saturday, I guess, for those of you in Australia. I hope you're too blessed to be stressed. Let's see. I got a poll here in the YouTube chat. It says, what are your thoughts on Solanke to Spurs? Obviously, we've got that going on, and I've got the title "No Quick Fixes," because there's some Ange Postecoglou quotes that I'm definitely going to want to run through here in just a little bit. There's actually something that I didn't have tab open that I was like, let me make sure I have that before the show starts, but I didn't. But I'm going to say hello before I get that going. So let's say hello to everyone. But what a transfer window it's starting to kind of end up being. I think it was Ali Gold had all the quotes. It is Alistair Gold. There it is. I always spell his name wrong, and that's why it never comes up. But how are you doing? Welcome into the show. Where was it? Was it this article? I think it was this article. I think it was this one. So if that's true, let me accept those cookies. Give me them cookies. So he's talking about Jed Spence, but I thought there was a whole bunch of other quotes. I guess he's kind of separated this now. No thanks. Just leave me alone. All these damn pop-ups. Can they stop? Anyway, I'll sort that out. But before I sort that out, let me say hello to George. Number one in the house says, big up, Jacob in chat. Smash them likes. Big up, George. Big up to you. Now, I've got this saved here, if you can see this media right here, because that was Dominic Solanke's Instagram story today. Now, I didn't know, because I don't follow him, but I'm actually going to go check right now. But a bunch of aggregators did post it, so I figured they couldn't all be lying to me. Let me see, Solanke. Dom Salam. Yeah, 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago, this was on his story. Look. You see? So, what this meme is, it's some anime. Now, I'm not a big anime guy, so I don't know what I know. Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, those might not be anime, but those are the closest thing I know. But in this, it says, no dream. I'll do this so y'all can see it. No dream is too big, no goal too ambitious. Dare to dream and dare to make it a reality. A lot of dares, a lot of do's, a lot of dreams, a lot of, hey, it sounds like we've already signed Dominic Solanke based off of my investigative research here. So that's what you're getting, United Spurs of America. Look, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, and I'm just showing you the ingredients. Big up Omara. Justine says, I would love to see Solanke in a Spurs jersey. We'll talk about it. I'll share my official thoughts. Now, I was live just a little bit ago on Never a Foul, and we were talking a little bit about Dom Solanke. So if you're over there, you heard my thoughts. But for those of you that didn't, you probably didn't see. But I'll share. Don't worry. I will tell you how I feel. Big up to Cursor. Like secured. Big up, Jacob. Big up, Cursor. How you doing? Mel Knight, talk to him nicely. Hey, big up Mel Knight TV. How you doing? Big up to you. Scott M. Big up Jacob. The more things supposedly change at this club, the more things stay the same. And it's really hard to disagree with Scott with this opening sentence. And, Scott's opening sentence typically is something that I do disagree with. But this one, I mean, Dominic Solanke to me sounds like a Tottenham Hotspur buy. And that's not a positive connotation, by the way. Big up Jazz Fusion. Evening, Jacob, and also Scott, who's far more dedicated than I to battling through the insanity. I'm not sure what that means, but big up to you, Jazz Fusion. Always good to have a saxophone Always need a sax solo, if I'm honest. Spursicus says, hail. Big up, Spursicus. How you doing? Big up, Godfrey. Says, big up, Jacob in chat. Big up to you, Godfrey. Emergoat gone. Now, I saw this. I saw you comment this, and I was like, what? Was there Emerson? Something with Emerson? I didn't see anything with Emerson. I just saw this quote, though. I'm looking at my Twitter feed. Thomas Mueller says, Son will not score against Bayern. No chance. Kim will defend him thoroughly. So he's already talking shit. This motherfucker, man. He's already talking some shit. Thomas Mueller, this guy. But I haven't seen anything on Emerson. So I don't know what this comment means. Or Donovan, share your sources. And speaking of share your sources, the numbers have gone up drastically, so I can only assume that there has been a redirect of some kind. Let me refresh my YouTube. It's the NAF raid. Big up everybody over there on Never a Foul. Have fun. Even TJ Warren was over there on Never a Foul. So big up to you. If you are new to the channel, just know that I'm unbiased at all times. I always speak the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. But big up the Never a Foul raid. Big up Kaz for that. Thank you so much. There's 200 people here right now. So if you are new, I would say, first of all, hello, my name's Jacob. And second of all, I was going to play a silly clip, but I feel like that's actually not a good tactical move when you're doing YouTube and you're trying to get your channel to reach 5K. I'm trying to hit 5K, and for some reason my brain is like, instead of telling people like and subscribe, my brain says, let's play them a clip. And I didn't know which one to play, to be honest, because I don't really know how to judge how I'm feeling. Because if you heard my rant about Dominic Solanke, it wasn't the most great reviews that I had. But, you know, I see this Instagram story from him, and I'm pretty sure it's happening. I'm pretty sure it's a done deal. Like, why would he post an anime meme saying no dream is too big, no goal too ambitious, dare to dream? This dude saying dare to dream in his damn Instagram story. That sounds to me like he already signed with Tottenham. But let me see who else is in the chat. I don't see this Emerson. I tried to refresh real quick to see if I could find it, but I could not. I don't. Like I said, I only saw Thomas Mueller trying to talk some shit. But look, I've got Dominic Solanke's numbers pulled up. I'll make that more presentable. I want to go through some Ange Postecoglou quotes as well, because he spoke on the transfer window. He spoke on some things, which his tone, or not his tone, because I haven't actually watched the clips of it, but the things he said at the beginning of the window were, let's get it done quickly, let's get it done. And then today was just a little bit different of a tone. If you saw obviously you probably saw the Fabrizio Romano thing. And here's some quotes real quick, just so y'all do know exactly the context in which I'm talking about. He said, I don't think it's all going to get done in this window. I never believed in quick fixes, and I think I said it would have been great if we had done our business already. So he's distancing himself from the original comment, which that worries me a little bit about the future business to happen. Says, I've always maintained a discipline to not go off and not get too emotional, which I feel like that's kind of a shot directed at Antonio Conte, which I'm just going to say this. Shout out Antonio Conte. I still have it. I know I was supposed to burn it already, so Zapur, hopefully you don't hate me, buddy. Big up to Ribsy, fifth option. He's not a significant upgrade to Richie, but still's probably slightly better. Perfectly said, Ribsy. If I wanted to surmise, if I wanted to do like a 60-second episode, I would say, or just a one-sentence answer on how I feel. He's not a significant upgrade to Richie. You could argue he is an upgrade, but not significant enough for my feelings personally. Someone just texted me, Kuti, Kuti, Kuti. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Kuti, Kuti, Kuti. I'm not here. Oh, I get it. This is the video you wanted me to play for all. You know what? This isn't going to get y'all to hit the subs. It may actually make you mad, but if you feel how I feel, it's going to do the opposite.
Good, good.
So yeah, this is just some Kuti propaganda. You will get that on United Spurs of America if you do like and subscribe. But also, I will have, this is a good time to say it, what better time to promote something new you're trying to do on the channel than when you're playing Kuti Romero propaganda clip. It is the fact of, I will have multi-club panel show during the season. I'm planning on that happening. I have a little bit of a rotating / recurring panel, so look forward to that. And everyone telling me that Kuti Romero ain't shit, I'm just gonna have to play this. And I'm sorry, but it's the rules. I was texted Kuti. It's like Beetlejuice. You say the name 3 times, and I'm contractually obligated. You did hear that correct. I am contractually obligated to play that clip when I hear Kuti. So, big up Mark Cook. Good to see you back in the house, Mark Cook. Big up Fifth Elemento. Smash that like button. Big up to you, Eugene S. Big up Jacob and Chat. How you doing? Big up Jazz Fusion. Spurs Psych says, hey, Jacob and Chat. Nice to watch live on my night shift. Hey, working on the night shift on the forklift. Fabrizio. And it's not about Tottenham. Breaking news, not about Tottenham. It's about Guardiola. Big up Mel Knight. No Spurs fan sleeps well during the transfer window. No, I sleep like a baby because I have limited hours because I'm a parent of 2 kids and a husband. So it's very hard to get sleep nowadays. Big up Jacob and Chewy. Chewy is here, as you can see. Anyway, hey, there you go. There's another reason to like and subscribe if you're new and you're like, I don't know if I want to help this dude hit 5K. I'm actually really close to 4,700. So I think if like 5 people subscribe or something like that, we'll hit 4,700, and then we'll be 300 away from 5,000. Wouldn't that be quite sweet? So big up to everyone who did hit that like, subscribe. It is free, as you know, to do those things. Even if you just subscribe and never come back, I still just appreciate you. So big up to you. And also, I like to say this when I get redirected. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what club you support. The chat is filled with supporters of all different clubs, all different nations. It's called United Spurs of America, but it's really United Spurs of the world. United Spurs of the universe. Because America's not even my top 2 demographics that watch the channel. So how about that? Let's not spread fake news with Solanke. It's not happening, right? Keep questioning, my friend. It's from Demon Slayer anime. That person is an egoist character. Might be Solanke saying he's ready for the move if it occurs. Nibelius, this is kind of what I was inferring. That's what I was rocking with. Hey, I like to read into things, and posting on your Instagram story after Fabrizio's like, yo, Tottenham are interested in Dominic Solanke, and then he posts a to dare is to do anime thing. Bro, you ain't slick. I see you. But anyway, big up for that. Demon Slayer. I might have to check that one out. Fifth Elemento. Big up. Sounds like we bought him. That's what I said. Trigger says NAF raid. Smash that likes. Big up to you, my friend. Big up Boston coming over from that NAF raid. Chilius is here. Says, yo, big up Chilius. Big up Becky TT. Becky, drop the link for your, if you like written articles. I like reading articles as well. Becky does articles and stuff. So make sure you check out and support fellow, what do you call entrepreneurs, fans of the sport, going like, what would you call someone who starts a YouTube channel that's a fan of a club? Like, I started it. I don't know. You're a fan. You write articles. There you go. Solanke's a FIFA 17 wonder kid. Love that. That's who we're going for. Big up to TJ Warren. Came on over from over there with Never a Foul. Vader Game says, hi, Jacob. Will you give your Spurs season expectations before week 1 or after the transfer window? I will give them as things stand whenever. As things stand, Vader, I'll tell you right now, my season expectations are not very high. I'm going to be very disappointed if this is the quality in which we do bring in. If it's a Solanke that we bring in, if it's someone of that, to me, that Solanke don't really make me feel like we're really moving different, like we're doing something worthwhile. I don't know. Ange said that he confirmed Tottenham are focused on signing a new striker this month and one that fits his very specific mold. That's from Ali Gold. So he's trying to hop on the Solanke train, which it makes sense. But honestly, Ali Gold has really fallen off. That needs to be studied because I used to respect him and I used to go to him for my Tottenham news, but he fell off, if you ask me. Never really watched his YouTube stuff because the playback speed's not fast enough. But big up Ali Gold, man. I hope he's good. And again, no shame if he's taking those brown envelopes, because I always say it, bro, if they were approaching me with brown envelope, I'd say, you know what, they're paying me. They're feeding my family. So, of course, I'm going to talk nice about them. At this stage, happy to get any striker. Let's go get Solanke. Big up George Carderas. Good to see you in the house, my friend. I've seen you in a few channels and in their chats and such. Now, I don't know that this is like I guess that's fine if we keep Richie and him. I mean, if you get Toney and Solanke, now we're really cooking. But that's not going to happen. Like, Solanke's going to come in here being like, I'm going to be number one. Richie's going to be like, I'm number one. Look at Romero's quotes. What Romero quotes? Big up Lisa. Big up Jacob. Good evening. Big up Lisa. Hola, ¿cómo está? Nate Pie. Hello, Nate Pie and the whole entire Pie family says, coffee, bacon, egg roll. No more hangover. Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Happy Saturday. Mueller, bro. Mueller about to catch a fucking schnitzel right to the dome. You know what I'm talking about? Come on now. Dub Jacob. Dub Tottenham. Very nice from Football Carnage there. Showing some love to Tottenham. I love to see that. I like Solanke. Solanke? Solanke? I don't get it. AK. Who is Solanke? Did you mean Solanke? And it auto-corrected you to something else? You like Solanke. A lot of people do. I mean, he had a good season last season, but let's not get it twisted. I mean, it was a good season. It was a good season, but, I mean, this is Bournemouth time. I mean, we could throw in... I mean, he didn't play for Chelsea. Technically, he was there. He went to Vitesse and played 7 goals in 25 matches. Troy Parrott had better numbers, by the way, and when he was in Eredivisie. And then Liverpool, 21 matches, 1 goal. Oh, okay. Yeah, it just doesn't look good to me. I'll be honest. It doesn't look good. I think he scored 1 goal against all top 6 opponents last season. Just not good enough, man. I just don't think he's good enough. He doesn't move the needle for me. Solanke only scored 2 more than Son, and Son was a striker stopgap. Big up all the sips. How you doing? Subscribed only for Cootie Core videos. Big up Ribsy. Hey, he subscribed for the Cootie Core. That's what we're here for, baby. Come on now. Lisa loves the video of Cootie. About 20 people left while I played the Cootie clip. But you know what? If they leave because of Cootie, then really they're no better than, Erling Haaland when he goes against Cootie Romero, which is 0 goals. Big up for that. All this Solanke slander is way overdone. The guy would easily be the best striker at the club. Justin Glazer, while you are correct, that is an indictment on the club. Just like Mikey Moore is our best right winger. Yes, he has talent, but it's also an indictment on this club that someone of Solanke's level is going to just walk in and be our best striker. I think I would definitely hear the argument, and I'm open to the idea of him being better striker than Richarlison, but the numbers don't say that. The eyes may, and so I'm open to that, but it doesn't move the needle like an Ivan Toney would. Now, he scored 19 goals in the Premier League last season. I guess the hope is that at 26 now he is a good striker and can score a bunch of goals in an attacking system that he was apparently playing last season for Bournemouth. That's what they're saying. I don't know. I don't know, man. Big up Lee Smithy Smith. Big love, broski. And 65 million. We're spending more on him. 125 million for Richarlison and Solanke. And at this point, you could say Richarlison really hasn't done the job for us. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't care if he had 1 good season or the price. I'm taking Solanke. You're taking Solanke. All right, we got some. Let me check the poll. Let me see how y'all are saying. 66 votes so far. There's 166 people here. So 100 people in the chat haven't voted yet. Make sure you vote. Let's see what y'all are saying. 44%, a resounding 44% so far says laughable shame from Spurs if this is true. 29% says he's a solid striker, better than Richie. 17% says won't sign for Spurs and Levy won't pay. 11% says Richie better, so I'm underwhelmed. What I would say to the 18% that say he won't sign for Spurs and Levy won't pay, the first part I think is not true. I don't think the first part of that is true, my friend. Because if it were, why would he be posting this on his Instagram story today to be like, to dare is to do, and I'm down to dare and do and dream and do and dare? Come on now. I think he's down. You wouldn't go from Bournemouth to Tottenham? I know we're not fucking Real Madrid, but let's not disrespect this club now, all right? Shout out the Cherries. Shout out Michael B. Jordan. Designed very 2 ugly jerseys, by the way, for Bournemouth. Their away kit and their third kit are ugly, and he designed it so they can hold that L. Becky got it on lock. Big up Ja. Big up Jay Scott. How you doing, my friend? Go. Oh, also happy belated birthday, my friend. I know I called you. We FaceTimed. I said happy birthday, and then I was supposed to call you back, and I never did. But big up to you, my friend, and happy belated birthday. I'm gonna call you later and figure out how that thing went for you. Go watch Solanke and his hold-up play. The guy would improve us immensely. I have watched Solanke. He does have good hold-up play, but Richarlison, that's one of his positives. He does hold-up play. Now, if Solanke's faster, if he's a faster Richarlison, then I guess that's an improvement too. Again, it's just I just want to pull up these numbers again because this isn't good. Last year, 33 appearances, 6 goals. And they were not a bad team that year either. Let me see. Where did they finish? I'll be honest. Let me see where they finished because I felt like when they came up, they were like in and around 10th to 13th, somewhere around there. Where did Bournemouth finish 22-23? 11th. They finished 11th. So when they finished 11th and this guy played fucking 33 goals, he had, or 33 games, he had 6 goals and they finished 11th. That doesn't sound like he was a huge contributing factor to the fact that they stayed up at 11th place. But you know what is a huge contributing factor to the fact that my mood is now switching from an angry, why am I angry at Wikipedia page right now? I don't know. But return of the question mark is actually return of he's here. Let's welcome. Oh, I mean, no, I need a fucking, there's got to be some fucking video I can like. I mean, when I saw him pop up into the backyard, this is definitely how I felt.
Am I dreaming? Yo?
That's how I felt. Extremely happy. Yeah, let's just bring him to the stage without further ado. We've got Kuva 99. He said he was too tired, but now he's not, because I did text him Solanke in all caps to see if that would, you know, get some juices flowing.
It enraged me. Yeah.
Kuva, welcome back to the fucking channel.
You don't send that to a friend. Solanke in capitals. Oh, there.
With a bunch of E's at the end. It was like Solanke. So it was like,
yeah,
to emphasize. You know? Man,
you definitely didn't want me going to sleep. That's all you're saying.
No,
yeah,
I didn't. I wanted you to just wake up and think about him. Hang on 1 second. Let me do that there. Kuva, welcome back. I feel like it's been forever, but for someone who probably, you know, took 2-3 weeks off of the channel, they're like, it was only a couple weeks, get over it. But I'm just happy to see you, my friend. Well, welcome back to the channel. How are you doing? I don't know your opinion on Archie Gray. I don't know your opinion on Lucas Bergvall thus far. Have you watched preseason games? I have actually a shit ton of questions for you. So let me say this to the chat. When it's one-on-one here on United Spurs of America, I like to go through all the chat and make sure I reply and talk to all of it. But I've got Kuva, and when I got a guest, I try to just enjoy my guest. And it's been so long since I've heard the wisdom and just the sheer vibes that Kuva gives off. So I'm going to enjoy this for a second. First question, have you watched preseason games?
I have.
All of them or just a couple?
I've watched all of them, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing unexpected there. I think a lot of people getting a little bit carried away because it's preseason. You shouldn't expect too much. It's more a fitness thing. But having said that, some of the youngsters look great. You know, a few mistakes in with it, as you'd expect, but there's a lot of talent out there in some of them. I think Archie Gray's looking like he's going to be a good signing. Bergvall as well, but, you know, it's early days. We'll have to see how they go. And Mikey Moore, sensational. He's already head and shoulders above most of our forwards, in my opinion.
I said he's our best right winger on the squad the fucking moment I watched him play.
He's a better centre forward than anybody else there as well.
I mean,
he's got.
Did you see?
He's got so much going for him. He knows how to find space. He can control the ball. He's got vision. He knows how to shoot. He's got spatial awareness. He can dribble with the ball. He's good in tight spaces.
And I know it was only training, but Brennan Johnson ain't shooting it like that. Timo Werner ain't fucking shooting it like that. Son used to shoot it like that. I didn't see it much last year though. It was outside the box, fucking top far bin, upper 90.
I feel like
elevation, curve, power, all the things you want in a fucking strike. And I saw that strike, and I was like, "Holy shit!" My gut wasn't lying to me. The way that I've lived my life, my gut has dictated a lot of things: where I eat, where I go, spend my time. You know, so my gut told me when I saw Mikey Moore. Shout out Mud, by the way, but big up my friend Mud. Was this guy? I've already seen in 45 minutes of preseason ball, I've seen him do things Brennan Johnson has not even tried. And when he does, excuse me, he's tried it maybe once or twice, but when he does, it's into the moon, to the fucking moon, the cross or the fucking shot. And it's like, I know the competition level's very low that he was going against, but there's still a skill set that is there. Like, you can't deny it.
You know, the other thing that really stands out there when you do that comparison, Brennan Johnson, to me, still has that little bit of a look of deer caught in headlights.
Yeah.
Mikey Moore, he struts onto the field like he is. He
looks angry. He looks pissed off at you. You know, when they cut him, he looks like, don't fucking look at me. Oh, I love that. There's something about Mikey Moore. So for me, the preseason, Mikey Moore, I want to see more of Will Lancashire. I want to put him above Valise and Scarlett and all them. Let them go out on loan or whatever. I think Fiorentina's in for Valise. I think that'd be a good loan. Send him to the Serie A. Hopefully,
I can't see Valise making it somehow, but you never know. It maybe can, maybe can't.
How does Lancashire already look like? To me, maybe it's my preference as a striker. I like a tall, thick-bodied striker that don't need run up and inertia to fucking get a shot off top bins. I want him to receive the ball back to net, top of the box, back to net, and just half turn, bang.
Yeah, agree.
Check Fab tweet.
You can see the marked difference. You can see the marked difference.
No, Bomba. Hang on. Benito Sotelo gifted 10 memberships, but Fabrizio's tweeted about Cuti Romero. I must stop everything. Breaking news. Something about Cuti. That's all I saw. Hang on. Hold tight with me now. Hold on. Oh, you can't see that. Hang on, Kuva. You're small. Hang on. I'm fixing it.
That's fine. I can make way for Cuti.
Hang on. No, I'm fixing this. Hang on. Let me do this. Cuti Romero, which big up Benito. Hang on. I'm going to get to this in a second. Benito. Shit. I'm fucking with the layout right now. I think we can
sort of get the idea there anyway.
Can you see it? All right, I updated the layout. Staffy's going to be pissed, but I don't give a fuck. Big up Benito. I'm going to bring this back up in a second. But Fabrizio tweeted about fucking a minute ago, Cuti Romero on the links with other clubs, he said, fuck you. He said, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about you. You're a bitch. Don't ever hit my line again. Delete my number. Block me on Instagram, bitch. That's what he said. But the real quote is, I don't think about other clubs. I respect Tottenham a lot. Talk to me nicely. They always gave me a lot of affection, so I like to play here at Spurs, he told ESPN. Let's hope that this year we can win a title. It's my mission. It's my mission. Now, they're always going to say what they want to say about Cuti Romero, but I've always remained that, when you're the top 5 at your position in the world, teams like Real Madrid are going to want you. They wanted Harry Kane. They want Cuti. It makes sense. Top 5 in the world at your position. No argument. I mean, people are going to argue about Romero, but not about Kane. But Kuva, how does this make you feel? He's basically just said, fuck you.
It's things you'd hope the players say, isn't it? But the thing is, there's no concrete bid from Real Madrid has come in or anything like that. We might not see that quote if that had happened.
No, Kuva, they did. They were in. Bro, you don't get like the whole smoke and the fire thing. There's a reason they were like sniffing around. They're just seeing what would it take. Is there a fucking weak point?
There was no cash on the table.
Dirty little coyote. They're just trying to find a little way into the chicken hen. Well, I got a treat for you, little coyote. Fuck you. That's what it is. And that's what we said to Real Madrid. The coyote said, let me submit a bid. Fuck you and your bid. In FIFA, it's the same thing, Kuva. You see it. They submit a bid. I don't even open it. Instant reject. And then I go turn the setting on. No bids accepted from this player. Just instant reject. So that's basically what Cuti said, and I'm all about it.
All I'll say is I like what he said, but we've seen words like this said by players before, and it doesn't really mean a lot.
But it's from fucking Lucas Moura or Giovanni Lo Celso. Not from Cuti Romero. I mean, look, Kuva, I know you want to downplay this, but I'm going to give you a few reasons why not to. Firstly, he said, I fucking love Tottenham, fuck you. So, I'm on
Good
board.
enough. We should just move on, really, shouldn't we?
I mean, it wasn't anything that having to do with anything. He really said what I already said, which was, Cooty's going to say, fuck you. I love Jacob and I love Tottenham. And that's what he said, quote for quote, word for word.
That's fair.
So,
that's fair.
But real quick, big up Benito Sotelo. Let me get back to this real quick. Gifted 10 memberships here. Let me see who got them. And Dub's in the chat right now for Benito. If you hear your name, or if you just want to say shout out fucking Benito for gifting 10 memberships, becoming a sponsor tonight of the show. KVNXMI got gifted a membership. Mel Knight TV, Staffy TV, the fraud himself. Rajat V, Mud got gifted a membership. Big up Mud. Donovan's back into the fucking lover's lane, baby. Talk to me. Wilsey, Rob Frank, JT, Unknown Fuck. No, wait. Unknown Me K-Funk? I don't know what that name is, but big up to you. And Rajat as well. Dub's in the chat right now for Benito Sotelo. But yeah, you know, Kuti basically said, you can hold that. I saw Football Carnage said something. What did he see? He said, we did not. So he's a Real Madrid fan, and so is Madarius. He says, we did not bid for him. Please don't lie to make yourself feel better. Bro, Romero literally said, delete my number. So I don't know what else you want me to say. I don't know what else you want me to say.
That's a direct
He said, fuck
quote,
you, bro.
yeah.
He said Real Madrid, more like fake ass Madrid. How about that? Huh?
Yeah.
Talk to
He
me
said,
nicely.
bring it on. They're on even half the side we are here. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. We're getting all bummed out about Solanke, but here's Kuti fucking on the badge. He's going, and Kuva's over here like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Football Carnage says, oh, you're trying to make yourself feel better, Cope. No, he said, delete my number, ho. You don't know me like that. I'm ignoring your Instagram DM. That's what he did. And speaking of what he did, David Shear gifted 10 members. Big up David Shear, grabbing a sponsorship tonight on the show. What a day, bro. Fucking Kuti bomb, and then I get 20 new members of the show. So big up for that, David Shear. Regista got gifted. Carm Janju, Disintegration, Vincent Tonui, or Tonal. James Joris, big up James Joris. United First, Arcane Novice, Joe Hong, Maravingen, and Jazz Fusion. Welcome to the family. 20 new family members. How y'all doing? Hopefully you're talking to me nicely tonight, just like Romero's talking to me nicely. But Kuva, why are you not trying to hear Sweet Nothings at this hour?
I did try to, but trouble is with insomnia is when you do actually put your head down on the pillow, you're suddenly awake again. So that happened. I thought, well, I'll slam a tea down me, and then I thought, like that sort of animal that hears the distant call of, like, you know, one of their friends. It's like I heard of Jacob. He's like, you're near enough 5,000 miles away. The little ears pricked up. And I look, and, yeah, I've got to get over there. My buddy needs me. Yes. Why not,
up, man? Hey, I'll tell you what, because I was about to dive down a road in which it did not sound all that great for us because it was Solanke, and the fact that it was just last year it took for him to get, you know, in and around those numbers. And for me, 19 goals in a Bournemouth side, where did they even finish last season?
He had a good season. There's no denying it. He had a good season. But
right before you joined...
we're talking about a player that's been average and never living up to his expectations for the previous sort of 10 seasons, let's face it. You know, if we count him going from 16-year-old, don't expect much when they're very young. But he's been a top division striker for a few seasons now. And he's never really done it, has he? He's very poor strike rate. It's no good having the rest of the game decent and then let yourself down with finishing, because at the end of the day, you're being paid big money to stick the ball away. And he hasn't done that consistently. I don't buy that he's suddenly a great player the moment he's just about to turn 27. That doesn't sound like one for me.
For me, the part that I was touching on before I tell you that Dr. Mike Mew says, I will tickle you, Kuva. And I thought that was kind of sweet. A little tickly. You know, it's kind of nice.
Appreciated.
That's definitely not going to help with sleeping. You know, you're like, I have insomnia. I'm trying to go to sleep. And he's like, I'm going to tickle you. But
you can't sleep. You might as well have a laugh, haven't you?
They get this perfect perfect transition back into Solanke talk, because this is what it feels like. We're trying, our goal, our manager says, is to go to sleep. And you know what? Dominic Solanke tickles. That's what we're getting instead. And I don't think I can fall asleep when damn Dominic Solanke's tickling me. For me, I'm saying it this way. And I'm just going to base off of recent history because, you know, men change, their bodies develop, etc. But at 25, you would assume that's the finito. So that's last year.
26.
And then this year is 26.
Year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 25, 26 years old. Now you are where I think you might get incrementally better or incrementally worse, but that's kind of in and around where you're going to be. You take number 6 and number 19, you add them up, divided by 2, it's around 12 to 15. That's around a Richarlison number of goals you can expect. So for me, it doesn't move the needle in that sense. But also, like, I kind of was just putting these together right before you joined. In 2023, 2022, so last year, not the one that just ended, but the one previous, they finished 11th. They were just promoted, and they finished 11th. He played 33 of those matches and only scored 6 goals. Now, maybe this is where the eye test would come in, and he had like the hockey assist for all the goals that they scored that helped them secure 11th place in the Premier League. But 11th place is something that people are, you know, they gave fucking Roy Hodgkin praise for that with Crystal Palace, and they give praise to Marcel Bielsa when he finished 13th, and like, or it was like 15 or 14, something like that. But my point in saying that is, your team had a really good season. You played 90% of that season, and your contribution statistically was very low. That's a little bit of a red flag by my amateur scouting report. So I never like to say I know the end-all be-all when it comes to every single player everywhere. And I would never say that about a man like Dominic Solanke, because it's not like I wasn't like, oh, wow, this guy at Liverpool, because he didn't do shit at Liverpool. You know what I mean? So it was like, he's a non-factor. And I'm judging him harsher since I've had a YouTube channel, which is literally, he was in the Championship and then the Premier League 2 seasons. And in the Championship, granted, 27 goals, I think it was, in the Championship, and then plus all comps was like 30, 31, which that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That shows that you can do it in the Premier League. But not for a fucking title challenging. If you're putting up 50... I mean, Mitrovic, he's not even a fucking title challenging striker. He put up 50 goals in the fucking Championship.
I mean, there's a few exceptions, but it's for a very good reason. I mean, I'd say prime Liverpool in recent years when they had Firmino up front and Salah and Mane. Now, Firmino in the middle didn't score a hell of a lot of goals. His link-up play was incredible, but that's because Salah and Mane were scoring bucket loads. So you can be part of a really potent attack without getting a hell of a lot of goals yourself. But is that the case with Solanke? I don't think so. It's nowhere in that sort of bracket for me. So, you know, what do you look at? His extra skills, a better ability to hold the ball up? I suppose it's got to be better than Richarlison's, hasn't it? But I mean, that alone, no, we need much more than that. With our forwards currently, we need somebody that can slam in about 30 goals. He's got to take up the slack from the likes of Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson. If we can find somebody that links up well with Sonny, that's something else. That would work. But it doesn't convince me. There's not a lot of great strikers around at the moment. Certainly that we're looking at. It's kind of a dying breed. Nowadays, your forwards have to be a jack of all trades. They've got to be able to chase people down and do their pressing job. And you know,
now I have heard Solanke's press is really good when you watch him. That's
what
I've heard.
Richarlison's not too bad at that either.
Yeah,
is he?
Richarlison's very aggressive in his press.
So
the hold-up play is another thing that they say Solanke's really good at. Richarlison, that's one of the only things we hang on to. Well, you know, when you know he can receive the ball and lay it off. Sometimes, usually the pass kind of goes away. Sometimes we haven't seen Richarlison; he's not fully healthy, so I feel like even right now we don't even know what that is like. But I just see it like this is okay. Yeah, like. It's not as bad as the Timo Werner deal, but it's still a not great deal that makes me feel good and bubbly. Like, don't give me the tingles and the dingles.
We're blowing 60 million on the Solanke. I think
65.
that's just disgraceful. That's just absolutely madness.
So
That is very much
125 million on Richarlison and Solanke.
mad, isn't it?
Interesting.
You know, there's a comparison I was going to make too, and this is like for, you know, historians of the game, really. But back in the sort of 60s, 70s, 80s, Liverpool had this great transfer policy that worked wonders for them. When they'd got into that position where they're top of the table, often, you know, going for league titles constantly, trophies coming constantly, their transfer policy was always to go out every summer, get 2 great players, and then get 1 exciting young player to see if they could make it as well. That was it. It was dead simple. They keep refreshing the team with quality. We seem to be doing the opposite now. We're buying that youngster that's got promise, but there's no quality going there. There's no experience quality coming in. So we're like not even a third of that well-working transfer policy. We seem to spend massive amounts on average players. I just don't get it. Right now, this club is utterly baffling. It's so confusing. We've got a manager that talks about instant success, going for the title. We then go out and spend on young players.
He didn't say instant. Kuva, if I may, and I don't know how you feel about it necessarily, but I have this issue that I've heard and seen on Twitter and heard on YouTube and seen in the chats on YouTube. Everyone taking a lot of things that Ange says completely out of context. And I feel like, I'm not saying that you're doing that right now, but I don't know a time in which he said, I'm going to challenge for the league right now. He said, that's my goal. If you're not trying to do that, what's the point of doing? That's just a winning mentality by saying that, like, you got to go for the challenge, but you can't, no one like, for people to hold it against Ange, like he legitimately feels he can come in and just sign a Brennan Johnson and a Timo Werner in January and we can win the league. No human thinks that.
That's not the problem, though. He can do that. It's just that doesn't align with what the club does it? Because the club
challenge
doesn't
for the
go
league. I mean, we haven't done that since 2016. So
what's our stock phrase every single time when Daniel Levy mentions anything about the team and success? He goes, "We're looking to do this, do that to be competitive." What does that mean? The team at the bottom of the league is trying to be competitive. What does that matter? We're supposed to be an elite football club. Shouldn't we be looking to win things constantly? I think so. So what Ange is saying, he talks like somebody that wants to win things, like you'd expect. But then we're looking at transfer policy that doesn't back it up, that changes every 2 or 3 years. The ideas of what we're going to do seem to change constantly. The backroom staff are constantly being changed. Nobody has any idea. What's Scott Munn? What's he doing? I have no idea. Does anybody? Does he? I mean, where are we going with anything?
But how is this? That's what I want to go back to this point a little bit. I didn't even mean to try and talk about Ange, but I'd heard it today on a few different channels, and I heard it and seen it, you know, coming up, you know, the Timo Werner deal. It's like everyone says that's Ange Postecoglou, and with the negotiating and stuff, it's like people think that Ange is in this room doing the negotiation on these deals, and I feel like that's not like really fair to the man. Like, I saw a comment from Bader, like, and Ange lies. No, where was it? It was I wanted to bring it up, but I may be too far up. There it is. This is worse than the 2018 window. Ange sucks. And I just feel like, first of all, the people that were in charge of recruiting, scouting, and all of that, contract signings, they're all gone, except for Daniel Levy. He's just their boss. So I don't know that it's the same thing. But when I hear about Dominic Solanke, that's when it's like, okay, maybe I am wrong. Maybe we haven't actually changed the way that we're doing things. Because to me, we've done a lot of good business in the last 12 months, 12 to 16-ish months since Scott Munn got appointed. What is he doing on the day-to-day? I don't know. I don't know him like that. I don't have his number. I mean, if he hears this and he sees this, what's up, Scotty? Holler at me. I'll talk to you. But I feel like with the signings of Destiny Yeah, it was a buy loan back thing. The Archie Gray, the same thing. Van de Veen, it's all pointing like those type of signings. They point in a direction for me. Archie Gray's still a question mark. He hasn't done anything yet, so it's hard to throw him in there. I think he will be good, but it's like that is what the recruitment, scouting, whatever the fucking department is. That's what they're kind of leaning towards. Whereas we used to do that, but also go get Toney and Donley and Giovanni Lo Celso.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just
And
I have a real
Richarlison.
hard problem saying like this is all Ange's fault when we're showing fucking problems that are indicative of things that we've used to do. These are the same fucking problems, and now it's Ange's fault that they're still
but
doing the same actions.
There's one thing Ange has done that has actually brought it on himself, and that's that he has invited all of these things, and he says, it's like my final say on transfers. Any bad performance, it's on me.
I feel like it's people just misconstruing.
He's trying to be the man. He's trying to say it's all on me. I'm the main man. I'm the manager. It's on me. Because he said that, there's now no argument about it. He literally wants everybody to point at him. If it's not working, it's his fault. If it is working, it's his fault.
I feel like that's just like the kind of man that he is. Like that is a man move. You as a father, as a husband, you know, like I'm not saying you're married right now. I'm just saying like, you know, the feeling of put this all on me. I didn't choose what my wife made for dinner, but if she burns the chicken or whatever, you know who's gonna have to do something about it? Me. You know whose fault that's gonna end up being? Me. Because I wasn't doing this, therefore she left the chicken on the thing. It's always gonna fall back on the man. Like that, and that's fine. I don't mind playing that role, and that's what Ange is doing in that instance of saying, "But put this all on me." It is a type of like alleviation off of the club because there is a target on his head. People were singing Levy out, you know, and then you get Ange, and now they're singing Ange Postecoglou. So
yeah,
it is that is sort of his job as well to alleviate that pressure, and also the fact that like he speaks and people are like he talks too much, motherfucker. It's part of the job. Like you're asking the dude who burger flips, oh, don't flip the buns, motherfucker. Shit's getting flipped over here because that's kind of the job. I'm flipping shit on the grill. Like, it's a shitty analogy, but I feel like it's just weird to blame Ange for shit that happened before he got here. And when those same things that were bullshit that we did before him, when we're starting to do them, like the Timo Werner, if we do Solanke, we haven't submitted a bid, by the way, for Solanke, but those two moves right there tells me that it's actually maybe not, you know, what I thought it was. But I don't blame Ange for it at all. I don't blame Ange for the Werner thing. I don't blame him for the things that he says. Can you imagine for a moment the amount of media requirements that are involved at the most expensive league in the world? Now, I've worked at lower level leagues and I've worked at the most expensive leagues in various sports. And I know the amount that a manager, coach, whatever you want to call them, the amount of media duties that they have every single day, let alone game days, they're asking them 50 questions a week and they're asking them to say different shit. And it's like, oh, well, he said this. Well, he said this. And like, again, these quotes right here, like they tell you something, but listening to the quote will give you what he's actually saying. And like a lot of the stuff that people go back on what he said last year, I remember listening to it and it wasn't, like I don't feel like it's a very fair representation of how he meant to, like how he was saying it and how he meant it. Like people still go back. He was blaming the fans and blaming, you know, this and that. Well, yeah, I mean, y'all were fucking rooting for him to lose and you're wearing a Tottenham shirt. That's kind of weird. Like, and he just said that's kind of weird. And he was also like all the shit that people got upset about was actually the direct quotes he was saying in regards to people within the club that were saying, start the kids, play the academy. They were joking about that, the fucking water tower, or the watering hole at the fucking lounge, the lodge. What do they call it? I'm digressing anyway. But my point is that I just don't always see it as Ange's fault when the club does shit that it's done for years and years and years, which is signings that don't move the needle, that don't necessarily move us forward. They kind of just help keep us where we're at. And I think a Solanke would help us top 5 still. So there was a question from Vader that was like, would you give your season predictions, week 1 or when the window starts. And I'll give it as is. As is, or say tomorrow we sign Solanke, and as is would be tomorrow. If we do the Solanke deal, the price, I don't like the price, but again, I'm not an accountant, not my budget it's coming out of, technically. Like, I don't like the price, but like what Solanke would do is be a sufficient replacement for Richarlison when he's not healthy. Because Richarlison healthy and 10 goals was getting you, or what was it, 14 games, 10 goals, something like that. And then he had 2 goals the rest of the fucking 30 games or whatever it is. So to me, it's just like he helps us maintain what we did, which was battle for top 4. Now, if we want to stay in that battle, this is the perfect deal for me. But for me, when, like you said, Kuva, when he says shit like, I want to challenge, and his wants could be different than the club's wants. Let's also take that into account. Like, I think that they hold it against him. Like, well, the club did this and you said you want to win the league, and a Solanke and a Timo Werner and an Archie Gray, that's not moves to win you a league. And while I agree, that's not Ange we need to be holding over the fire.
No, but that was the point.
Jose and Conte were here. They're winners. They were here, and somehow it's still their fault. Oh, I didn't like the style of play. Oh, he sat back too much. Oh, he was too negative. Oh, I didn't like the way he said this or that. It's just the nitpicky shit. We do the nitpicky shit to dudes who never fucking lose unless they come to Tottenham, and then we do it to guys who this is their biggest opportunity in his career. Like, if it's the biggest opportunity in career, now he's on the big stage. He wants to prove I'm this guy. Of course he's going to say these bravado man statements of like, I'm trying to do this. And sorry, Kuva, I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but I want to hear what you're saying so I can stop talking for a second. Sorry.
It's just the point is with what he's doing, it kind of removes any argument because he himself is making sure that all the focus is on him for these decisions.
That's probably part of the contract.
Perhaps it is, but I'm saying it seems to be more. It seems to be a stronger need to do it with him than it has been with previous managers, in my opinion, anyway. I don't know if you agree with that. I mean, Conte certainly would say things like, Jed Spence club signing, or, they'd question what the board really wanted.
But they're also kind of like different. They're different guys. Like, whereas
totally.
Conte would be like, this isn't my fault. Again, when a kid spills or breaks something, they either say, fuck, my bad, sorry, I was doing this. Or they say, it wasn't my fault, it was because they got bumped and I hit that's Conte. Now, he wins and shit when you give him the fanciest tools, but we weren't ever going to do that. He fucking joined us in the middle of a season because we tried to appoint him earlier and he said no because we wouldn't let him have his coaches, but then we just raised the amount of money we were going to give him, and then he was all of a sudden fine with fucking off a couple coaches. It's not very Tony Soprano-like. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos. Talk to me nicely. I'm walking here. Hey, I'm just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Which I think a lot of people feel about Tottenham. I feel like, you distance yourself, then they do something, they pull you back in. But for all intents and purposes, Kuva, yes or no, do you blame Ange for the transfers we have done and the transfers we haven't done this window? Do you blame Ange for that?
At the end of the day, I have to, because he's accepted it.
Well, what do you mean accepted it?
Well, whether
so should I blame you as a fan because you've been watching Spurs for X amount of years and we've only won X amount of trophies? Is that your fault because you've been complicit in it?
Well, how have I been complicit in it?
You watch the games.
I don't make any of the decisions at the club, though.
But you pay the companies that broadcast the games. You pay for those companies to be the TV companies. You don't pay them.
No.
Taxes.
No. Don't know taxes, but that's not going to Tottenham, though. All I'm saying is, when we sacked Martin Jol, I stopped buying all merchandise or paying for anything to do with Spurs. Out of protest, and I've stuck with it.
Well, what if we say more recently then? You come on here and you help me do a show. We talk, we have a good time.
Well, that's courtesy to you, isn't it, mate?
Well, okay. Well, if I can transcend your
I'll tell you what,
the club.
I'm not just saying that. I've said several times in this close season I'm not doing any serious football shows. There's only one exception I will make, and that is for Jacob.
That's true.
Because
You have said
usually
that
when
many
I come
times.
on, we're not having a serious football show anyway. But I mean,
Yeah,
all the rest of
typically.
this is speculation and guessing at what's really going on while sifting through all the words that are said and which ones are truthful and which ones are PR. And I said, what's the point in any of this? I'm going to wait until the end of the transfer window, and then we'll actually know who's coming. Because maybe by some miracle, maybe we do get a good signing in, not Solanke, but somebody worthwhile. Doesn't matter who it is, somebody that really boosts the level of the team, really real upgrade in a position.
Yeah.
There are people out there, because at the moment we've got a Maddison that's off form, clearly seems to be struggling to get back to where he was. Where's the other creative influence now? We might be looking at some of the youngsters, including Bergvall, coming in and doing that job. I mean, that's not a good situation to be in. Maybe they could do it and flourish. Maybe Maddison does find his form back. But if he doesn't, where is the alternative at the moment? If we got an Eze through the door, that's your alternative.
Yeah.
Again, linked with forwards like Jimenez. That's gone quiet. He looked like a decent forward.
I when I looked into him, I very much like Santiago Jimenez, but there's a couple, when I talk about red flags, like with Solanke, with Santiago, there's a couple red flags as well. And one of the most glaring ones was last October. I found the tweets of it and everything. Feyenoord were talking about 100 million minimum bid that they'll even consider for Santiago Jimenez. That was last October. And then I saw him getting linked with Atlanta United in the MLS fucking less than 12 months. That is a little alarming for me. There's clearly something there. I liked his profile as a striker, like the size, all the things I say that I like in a striker, the turn, the shot, able to generate power on your shot without fucking run up, like controlling the ball, strength in the box, aerial ability. These are all things I like in a striker. But it is the question mark, can he do it in the Premier League? There's always the big question mark. Now, I feel like you compare Solanke to Jimenez, now there's another that's a conversation I can have, because there's more question marks around Santiago than there are around Solanke.
Solanke has proved that he has done it at least one season, hasn't he?
He at least got that one. If it's that one season wonder, think about all the one-hit wonders out there. There's somebody I used to know, Gautier, whatever his name. There's somebody I used to, the song. That guy, he did one hit and he dipped. He made his money. He got the fuck out. Like, maybe that's what Solanke's trying to do. I don't know. I don't know Solanke like that. It's like Zedai says, Toney has that one season. Yeah, you all love. I would love to, but see, the thing is, I've watched Toney more than just that one season that he had in the Premier League. So when I speak on Toney, it's like I watched him in the championship with Brentford, and I first heard of him at Newcastle. And like again, I was at the time following the profile of a player I thought could replace Harry Kane, because it was every year was Harry Kane's ankles, and I knew that Tottenham don't go and buy the best. We go and get the young kids or the cheap option. But maybe we would get a striker from, and I remember the 3 strikers I selected for my Harry Kane backup to learn and grow under Harry Kane. This was like 5-6 years ago, or maybe it was 4 or 5. I think I'm over exaggerating. It was Patrick Bamford, fucking Ivan Toney, and Ollie Watkins. And up until last year, Ollie Watkins kind of seemed like I was wrong, but he was balling out last year. Some say, could he do it in a different system? I don't know, but he seemed pretty damn good. Better than any 4 we got. I wouldn't have mind either one of the, except for Patrick Bamford. I definitely missed the mark with that. But again, I was just looking at profiles of players. I thought Bamford had a little more to his game.
There's a lot of people like Bamford.
Yeah, I liked him before I saw him in the Premier League. And then he was injured all the time. And it was like when he wasn't, he's like, I'm back. I'm fully healthy. I'm ready to bang. And then they lose 4-1. And he was hooked at fucking 50 minutes.
Looks like they should be able to do the job, and they just don't do it. Seen a few of those over the years. But Ivan Toney's an interesting one as well, because when he got, obviously, since he's come back from his ban, I think he's been pretty poor, hasn't he? Very bad goal return, not the same player. What worried me most about him, though, was the rumours, well, I don't know whether it's established or not, that he even bet on his own team to lose and that betting scandal. If that's the case, I wouldn't want him anywhere near my.
That's not confirmed. His charges.
I don't know
were
if it is
just
or not.
Yeah, that it's just a speculate. I like to judge players off of like what I do know in the regards of extracurriculars outside of the pitch. What I do know is he went on camera with the chicken and say that again.
You'd certainly do your homework. If you heard a rumor like that, you'd check it out before.
That is like. But I feel like his punishment would have been even worse if that was the case. I feel like the whole thing was like, you're not supposed to bet on yourself. We're going to make an example of you. And like they did with Tonley. But Tonley, it was actually he bet on his team's results rather than individual. Like as Toney was betting on other games and results. But when he bet on his team, it was on himself to score goals or not the yellow. I don't know about yellow card. Again, I don't know that that's confirmed. That's what I've heard from the opposite side. And then I've also heard what you just said, which was he was like, we're going to get our ass whooped by fucking Liverpool today. I'm betting that we're going to lose. You know, like if that is true, I agree. Don't want him anywhere near my club at all.
Then again,
what I don't like from him that came out, what I do know that is like visual evidence, there's a video of him on a boat with a chick in a bikini. And she's like, oh, say fuck Brentford. And he's like, oh, fuck Brentford. And it was like, he kind of simped and then shitted on his club. I didn't like that. It reminded me of Reguilon last year. He was on loan at Brentford, but he was taking a picture of United in a derby in the Premier League and rooting for them when we were actively fighting them for top 4, top 5. It's shit like that I don't like in a player. Regardless of your talent, I'm more stand on business and morals rather than I do body of work. Like Karim Benzema, I don't care how good of a player is. I would never want a player like that at my club. That's just how I feel. Yeah. That's just my opinion. But so Ivan Toney, there's a few layers to it. Like I feel like English media. Here's a question, Kuva. I'm gonna do this like we're in court. In Kuva, in your experience of the English media, have they ever misprofiled a man who has money?
All the time. English media, well, it seems almost every media, isn't it? It's just bullshit, all of it.
Yeah, it's not just UK. It's American media does it too. They love it, but they also in America we love the reverse story where it's like, oh, you thought they were the bad guy? The news came out, they're the good guy. Now they're fucking millionaire because they started to GoFundMe.
And then you build them up again, and so you can shoot them down again later. Yeah, it's standard.
Yeah, standard. But you know, we help you get here, and then again, 2 weeks later, now you're smoking crack, and TMZ got a photo of it. But
if you beat that habit and get yourself back on your feet again, we love you again.
We love you again. Yeah, like there was a dude who got rich because girls thought he looked cute in his mugshot photo, and his mugshot was for armed robbery and breaking and entering. Like that's not a good deed that he did, but because of his dreamy eyes, everyone was fawning over him, and then he gets sponsorship deals. It's kind of funny here in America. But anyway, back to the UK media, back to my pressing questions for you, Kuva. So in regards to his attitude and like the way, all this other stuff, I do know I've seen a video of him saying, fuck the club that pays my paycheck because some chick on video asked me to. And all the other stuff is them being upset at the way he says things.
That was almost a little bit of a sly dig at a certain Eric Dyer over there, I thought. Just saying.
I didn't even mean it. But if it happens, I mean, I don't mean to, paint over the light socket, so to speak. But the paintbrush is wide, my friend.
Indeed.
Sorry,
all
the other stuff that people got upset about. I remember looking at one of the interviews with like, how dare he disrespect Brentford like that? How dare he disrespect? And all he said in the interview, if you watch it, was like, they're like, so what's next for your career? What do you think? And any dude that's like, I'm the shit, is going to be like, eventually I hope to play for one of those big ass clubs like Real Madrid. Like everyone in the history of football has said since I've been alive, one day I want to play for the biggest club in the world, Real Madrid. And they got upset because he said that. And I think it was linked with Arsenal at the time, heavily linked with Arsenal at the time. And they were like, how dare he flirt with Arsenal like that? He's like, I want to play in one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League or Real Madrid, like he wants to be at the biggest show in town. And if you back yourself as a man, of course you would say that, right? I feel like people take that and they say his attitude's bad and this and that. Like betting doesn't shine a good light on your personality. And I mean, it's a sin in certain religions. So I get like the negative connotations that go along with, betting, etc. But when the media, when a large portion of everyone is saying one thing about a guy, a young man of color, and with money and with promise and potential and all that shit, they've misprofiled them 100 million times in every country, or in America, my country, and I've also seen it in the UK as well. Just like completely get a dude wrong, misprofile him, and then it just kind of snowballs from there. Once people think you've got this negative next to you, then they start to believe all the shit that you hear. Oh, I heard he betted against this. I heard it. And now it could be true. And all this, I just wasted about 15 minutes talking about character and Ivan Toney's personality and why I'm not concerned about that personality because one, like, if we are to believe what Ange says in the regards of I talk to these players and sign off on it, he would have a conversation with this guy, or he would be like, I don't want him because of said personality. But for me, again, they said it about Jed Spence, but Ange Postecoglou has nothing but raving reviews for Jed Spence. Let me pivot over to that real quick because I do have him in the thumbnail, and I did want to talk about it. So Jed Spence, there was a quote from, actually a lot of quotes from Ange Postecoglou regarding Jed Spence. Basically said, Jed's here, he's a good player. He fits into the football that we're trying to play. So it's as much about me as it is him. But as you see right now, he's having a very good preseason. He's been very good on tour. He's impressed all the coaches, not just myself. For some of them, it's the first time they've worked with him. They've all been really impressed with him. So they said he had a bad attitude. I've heard from every manager. And I was believing this literally until I saw him. I'm hearing this, Daniel Fark last season with Leeds said, I didn't like him, so I sent him back to Tottenham. His attitude, he was showing up late. I asked him to do shit a certain way. He doesn't want, there's pushback, and then he's late the next day. I don't want a player like that. I agree. That's unprofessional. But I'm a firm believer of like, I wasn't the greatest dude when I was fucking 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I started becoming a better dude 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, soon to be 34. So to me, I've always believed that men can change for the better. And that's my thought here with Jed Spence. And these coaches have a fresh start with him. Some of his coaches that he's brought in, he says maybe he's learned a couple of things over the last couple of years about himself. And hopefully we can sort of bear the fruit of that. I mean, imagine you sign for a huge club and the first thing that comes out of that club is the manager saying, that's not my guy. I didn't want him. That's the club. That's already like, well, fuck. Maybe there's a little sympathy that should have been made for Jed. What do you think, Kuva?
I agree with you on a lot of that. I'm a big believer in redemption. So you can screw up really badly and come back strongly for it. In a lot of men's cases, that can be the making of them. Something really bad happens early on in life, and you draw strength from that, making sure it never happens again. If he's fixed his alleged bad attitudes, well, don't even doubt the bad attitudes. When you got Daniel Farke actually coming out and saying this is what's happened, you got to believe the man. He's not going to make that up. So if he's been doing all that and he's actually addressed that and realised, sort of it's given him the slap in the face he needed. So he's got to knuckle down and do his job well. I'm all for giving him another chance. I mean, I agree. In pre-season, he's looked really good. Lightning fast, box to box.
What he's done, at least for me, where it was like a Toney and Donley situation, Giovanni Lo Celso situation, where I was like, just get him out at any, like when Genoa, I think I remember even talking about when Genoa was like, they don't want to accept anything less than 8 million euros. I was like, is 8 million enough for what he is? I don't know. But if he's this dead player that all the managers don't fucking like him, just get him out. Just get him out and get someone in was kind of my thought. And then I saw him play that first match, said, okay, at that point I said, maybe this sentence is still being written here. Maybe it was a comma instead of a period of like what I wanted to see from Jed Spence. Now, I'm not saying because you have fucking 2, 3, 4 good, one of them wasn't even that good, preseason appearances, that all of a sudden I'm like, there it is. We figured out our backup fullback situation. Because again, let's remember we are one injury away on the left or the right from a Ben Davies or a Van de Ven, then Dragusin being slaughtered, having to work around with shit. Which Jamie Donley, I do want to talk about him a little bit, but specifically about Jed because I have him in the thumbnail. I just don't know that he's answered the question of our backup fullback position, but he's at least he found the opening in the ballot box to put his name in the hat. Now, whether his name continues to be the name we draw out of the hat, and it's like, wow, he really is an option. I like a redemption story. I like believing in second chances in a fucking dude. I've made mistakes my whole life, but I'll be good. But, it's a little different when it's like, that's 4 managers that haven't liked Jed, 4 or 5, but now Ange never said I didn't like Jed. He never said. He just fucking didn't. He saw him for 25 minutes at right wing and then loaned him out and never saw him again. And then
Again,
now he's speaking. So I don't know.
It goes back to Ange not being the type of man that's going to call somebody out like that, doesn't it? So we don't know.
Yeah.
He may not particularly fancy him to play the role, but then again, maybe he is keeping an open mind and giving him a chance. I'd like to think he's giving him a chance because that's what he should do when you get a player for the first time, and he would have welcomed him back this season. So have a look what they can do pre-season. Tying in with
big up
Don.
Perchy, by the way. I just saw Perchy. I was scrolling through the chat to make sure.
As well.
Yeah, but big up Perchy. I saw him in the chat. Go. Sorry. Continue.
Talking about Donley, I think he's been one of the standout performers of pre-season. I think he looks a natural for it. He understands playing wide on the pitch. That's for sure. He was playing that wing back role so well, getting forward so well, always linking up play. He was getting heavily involved. He was getting the ball into the box. There was a bit of everything going on there. I'm really impressed with what he was doing. The question we're going to have over the likes of him, Archie Gray, Bergvall, Mikey Moore is
Donley. I'm throwing Donley in there too because we don't have any other options. I'd rather Donley than Davies.
Donley's the one starting with, these players could come through and be amazing. It might also take them a couple of seasons to adjust. And are fans going to be patient if we see that's going to be the case? I think probably not.
I imagine if Jed has to come in for Pedro Porro, he's going to struggle for a minute. If maybe the whole time, I don't know. Again, it's just question marks. I like sure things. I like the better chances that I'm going to be right. Like when I go gambling, I don't like to gamble, but I stick to roulette and I bet either on red or I bet on black because it's going to be one of them. Very seldom hits that green one. You know what I mean? Damn near about 44% chance I'm going to be right. I like 44% chance of being right. And Jed is like picking any of those numbers and just fucking roll the thing and let's find out. It is a scary thought, but he's at least, for me, and I can only speak for me, I saw a comment way earlier in regards to watching. I didn't watch him in the championship, etc. I did watch him in the championship. I do watch championship, but I've never said my opinion on a player is the one you should say, well, Jacob said this about a player. Bro, that's my opinion. Just like other people feel differently about other players. I just give my opinion. It's by no means do I want you to take it as truth. I'm not a truth speaker. I Googled to see if there's any fun clips that I could play for the people that come in the channel. Like, speak the truth. Happy Clap is afraid of the truth. And I wanted a clip. And the only thing that kept coming up was like the Jesus shows on the History Channel, where it's Jesus being like, I am the truth. I am the light. I am the Lord. It's like, I'm not going to play that on my stream, but like, it still goes hand in hand with everything I said about the truth sayers. You're just a lower version of a cult, basically. And that's why you get those trolls that go around channels and they say, oh, so-and-so said this. Oh, so-and-so said. That's because they subscribe to the Kool-Aid. But look, without subscribing to the Kool-Aid, Ange also says that I wanted to point this part out too. They kind of decide their own future in many respects, and I think Jed is in that boat. I think there is an opportunity for him here for sure. He said the same thing about Mikey Moore. Thinking about building a squad, he would definitely be somebody who could contribute with the attributes that he has. I think we all agree, or you and I agree with that, Kuva. I thought last year there was a chance, but it didn't quite work out. For those kind of things, I think sometimes a player really wait for the direction when they can really take control of their own direction. So maybe it's just a matter of Ange is the kind of manager to put his arm around Jed and make Jed feel important enough to where he can perform, I guess. I don't know.
One more year out away from the club, that and then he's sort of learned that he's going to have to knuckle down and actually perform.
And there's a reason. I heard really good things coming from the people on the Genoa side that they really did want to keep him. They loved the versatility, the willingness to go forward, the pace. He was. I think that what happened with Leeds and everywhere else he's been, I think it was really a humbling moment for him. Like, I'm falling off the radar. I'm 20 something now. I need to be doing like I think he's like got the kind of personality and the ego. Again, this is my assumption of Jed Spence, disclaimer, not fact. This is my assumption. But he strikes me as the kind of guy like a Toney, like these other guys that believe in themselves. Like, okay, well, where was Neymar? Where was Messi at this stage in his career? What was Cristiano Ronaldo doing? What was Zlatan doing at their age that I'm at now? And if he is like that, I think that's a humbling moment. He realized, bro, you got kicked off of the championship side that people liked you for fucking 4 weeks, and then they hated you. They couldn't wait for you to leave. So that's the part for me that worries, or excuse me, that alleviates a little bit of that worry, because I think that if that is true, if all my broad assumptions could be true, which they might be, I've been right about conspiracy theories before, but I've also been wrong, so take that. That in Genoa, I think he really said, you know what, I'm just going to fucking put my head down and try and do what I'm supposed to be doing here. And that's the reason why they wanted him. No one else that we loaned him to even explored sending a bid or talking to us about picking up the option. Nobody that we loaned him to. So that's different than all the other loans. So a lot of hope, a lot of mystery, a lot of assumptions in that, what I just said about Jed Spence. So that right there doesn't give me the most confidence if we go into week 1 and he is our backup fullback. I guess the only hope is that the window hasn't officially closed. So like we could still get that backup. But Emerson Royal or Jed Spence, which one are you keeping if you have to keep one?
Jed Spence. Emerson's absolutely trash.
Compilation king? No? You don't like that? He dropped a comp for his baby being born.
I would keep Jed Spence because he's a bit of a speculative punt, really. He's a bit of a gamble. I don't know what we're going to get from him. What I do know is what we will get from Emerson, and it's not good.
Well, the first 2.5 minutes of preseason, he was like, here you fucking go. And then they go and score. He's like, no, dang it. I was like, fuck, bro. We should have accepted Milan's bid, because the fucking 2.5 minutes, he's like, there you go. And it wasn't like, bro, it went straight to the guy that was wearing the opposite colors of you, my G. I was really concerned AC Milan were like, thank fuck they didn't accept that bid that we submitted. But apparently it just keeps progressing. They like what they saw. And there was also a quote that I saw. I might have it starred. Where is it? About Emerson Royal. The Korean team said that he was the best player on the pitch. Oh yeah, breaking. We reached an agreement, but I don't think we did. But that was yesterday that it was breaking, but it never happened. There's that lady. Here it is. Team K-League fullback Choi Jun says Tottenham player was most impressive that they were playing against Emerson. Everyone in the K-League team said Royal was the most impressive. He is a wall, defensively incredible. And I love that. Big up to Choi Jun. You hear that? They just played the motherfucker. Come on, AC Milan. I know you're used to Maldini, but don't worry about this guy, all right? Give him the same number as Maldini, he'll be all right. The next Maldini.
Oh, my God.
You know what I said whenever I saw him playing for Brazil wearing the number 2? I said, Cafu. Cafu. I forgot. Because he was just, the most recent thing in Brazil's number 2 shirt, which just, again, speaks to football powerhouses falling off. Dear God.
You know, a lot of teams retire shirts because a player's been so good. They retired that, but they've forgotten to tell the player to get out of it first.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I love this comment from Scott. It says, game recognizes game. The K-League guys saw a guy around their level, and they called it out. They said, wow, this guy's fantastic. Hey, 15 more likes, and we hit 100. Big up Mel Knight TV, letting everyone know that we should be hitting that likes. Or else, do I need to remind y'all what's at stake here if we don't hit 100 likes? This dog Yeah, he's back. He ain't gonna eat dinner, huh? So get those likes up. 150 likes, and you know what? He can have some of my dinner. But if we don't get all the likes, and that dog ain't gonna be eating dinner. But there you go. Look, I have a few other things I do want to talk about, but I'm not trying to keep Kuva forever, and I still have more questions. While we are on the fullback conversation, what have you thought of Jamie Donley in the inverted fullback position so far? Now, I don't know if you were watching all the shows in which I did talk about my thoughts on Jamie Donley, but I'll give you the real quick elevator pitch. When he was excelling very, very highly in our academy and winning the Premier League 2, he was a central attacking mid, basically a number 10. But he would drop deep sometimes, win the ball back, etc. But most of the time he was operating in that area. For me, I think it kind of makes sense in a weird way, because if you look like the first 2 preseason games, I was looking at his heat map versus his, the areas that I remember him occupying when I will watch on Spurs play the academy games. And shout out Perchy. He was like, why would anyone ever buy Spurs play? And it's so I could watch the academy, so I could say this next sentence. So big up Perchy. The areas in which he occupied were similar to the areas in which he was occupying as an inverted left back. Again, slanted a little bit more to the left side, but he was still popping up in the right, occupying a lot of middle areas and the top of their box in the final third. Destiny kind of occupies those same areas. There was a lot of times where Destiny was like our second striker. Romero was our second striker. And like, we had fun making those formations, Kuva, our pre-match formations. Just fuck it. Put everyone up there and Vicario at the half line. We're good.
Yeah.
And like, I like the sentiment, but in regards to Jamie Donley as an inverted left back, it's not like he's going to be, it's scary because it's like, that's not a position he ever plays. But let's really look at what the inverted left back, right back are being asked to do in this Ange Postecoglou system. It's everything you would ask a fucking attacking midfielder to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact
especially in attack. So
I'd add to that the fact that he's a natural for that. Also, the fact that when he did have to go out wide and do the fullback sort of side of the job, he looked comfortable at it. And when he got into the wing positions, he looked comfortable at that.
The link up with Sonny was...
The kid is just a good footballer. I'd love to see him develop with the first team. I think he could turn into something very, very good. He's obviously not, like world class that we need to get into challenging for the title yet. But in a few years, who knows how they develop when they're young. All I'd say is give him some game time. If we're not signing players and we're looking at the kind of signings we are looking at as like Solanke, I'd prefer to keep the money till we can find somebody decent and give the kids a go. Just don't have any expectations for the season. Let them just all develop for a whole year, maybe even 2. Long-term plan. I'd be okay with that if the club just came out and just said, that is what we're going to do. We're going to have a 5-10 year plan for this. And we're going to bring through top young talent on a regular basis and stick with it. And then just add really, really talented top players to it every now and then. I'll be okay with that. But it's not what we're going to do, is it? We'll do it for a few years, get bored or whatever, Levy will change his mind. Then we'll go in another direction. It's all for nothing again. And then we're hemorrhaging managers and players and nobody knows where we're going. If you're brave, you can go with it. I think a lot of fans are at the point where they can't have a long-term project anymore. They're going to need instant sort of team building. And we can see pretty much now that isn't happening. The very fact we're being linked with Solanke shows that. So
I don't feel great about the Solanke,
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything from next season. All I'm hoping for is like there's something worth watching while we're trying to build for something later in the future, because under this ownership, that's all we can do. Forget any illusion.
Look at the knee slide. Look at the distance on this knee slide. Kuva, let me try and sell you real quick. Just look at this photo alone. Now, I believe this is at the Cherry Stadium, which I don't know what they call it, fucking Cherry Orchard Park, whatever the fuck. But look at the lines. So it was misty on the pitch, and if you see my cursor, I'm combing over. That's at least a 6-foot slide. Now, when I've looked at a lot of our other players, when they do the knee slide, doesn't quite get the same amount of distance. So clearly, when he scores goals afterwards, he can run very hard too. What do you think about that? Justin Glazer's sold. If that helps, we have happy customers. We've sold to happy customers.
Oh, well, there we go. That's what matters.
I mean, look, just next question for you, Solanke, since he's right here on the screen. Is he better than Richarlison, yes or no?
Yes.
I agree. I think Richarlison's numbers are better, but I think as a striker, if you had to take one in your team, I'm taking Solanke.
Right. If right now,
but Emerson's scored more Premier League goals in less minutes. I mean, I think the goals per minute or goals every goal, the stat that says like how often you score a goal minutes wise, Solanke was almost double the amount of minutes as Richarlison. But then again, this system kind of lends itself to getting Timo Werner GA, getting Brennan Johnson GA, and Richarlison GA. That tells me it's fucking just right there, baby. Just slide it on in. You know what I mean?
What you could distinguish between the two, apart from the fact that Solanke's a better footballer, in my opinion, is that Solanke is now coming to a peak in his game. You know, he had his best ever season last season. So, whereas Richarlison has always been at a pretty low goals output right the way through his career, and I don't see that improving at any time soon. So, you could take that on board. I think at the end of the day, if that dream scenario had happened where Richarlison went off to Saudi Arabia or wherever was putting in the money at the time, for that big money move, and it paid for Solanke to come in, we would actually be in a slightly better place than we were. But I think the worrying thing, and the thing that it really lights the fire under the lights of Scott M's saddle, is the fact it's always the Solankes coming in. We're never going in for like a, top of the tree sort of player. We never are. I mean, even
but for 65 mil,
he's. I prefer we get a much more promising youngster for a quarter of that.
So real quick, Kuva, Justin says Richarlison's numbers are way worse. I think we both agree from the profile standpoint that we would prefer Solanke. From what I've seen, again, I've seen much more Richarlison than I have Solanke. But numbers-wise, this just isn't true, Justin Glazer. He hasn't played in the championship. So if you compare Premier League seasons to each other, he played a shit ton for Everton. I mean, it's not a lot of goals. It's not great. 35 games, 13, 36, 13, 34 games, 7, 30 games, 10. For our first season, 27 games, 1 goal. That was his first season with us. Last year, 28 games, 11 goals. This wasn't even great. So it's like, if we're really just comparing, like, do you want bread with some mold on it, or you want chicken that may have been left out all night and then we cooked it, but it did sit at room temp for apparently a couple hours, which could give you salmonella, but we did cook it, so it may not.
Risk the chicken anyway.
Yeah. Fuck the moldy bread?
Yeah, fuck the moldy bread. At least it looks like chicken.
Yeah, hey, they both got some fuzz on it. You know, like that strawberry in the back of the fridge, getting all fuzzy.
Hey, close your eyes, it's still chicken.
But Solanke as a 9 over Son as a 9, at least there's a person in the box that is a point you can pass it to, and he's not going to be just
he's a physical presence. Yeah.
It's like it's a seamless transition. You know what this reminds me of? It's like when Tom Cruise does most of his stunts, but if you get a Richarlison and Solanke double-headed monster on our team, it's Tom Cruise. I didn't mean to get the fireworks, but you got Tom Cruise and the guy that does his other stunts that he doesn't want to do. So he kind of look like Tom Cruise, and it's really a seamless transition in the editing room. And I feel like that's kind of what this move is, Solanke anyway. But we talked about Ange, we talked about Solanke. I actually need to change the title of this. I'm gonna put heated Ange discussion, but Return of the Kuva. I had it as question marks because Kuva was a maybe, but I'm putting Return of the Kuva back into the title. And instead of no quick fixes, I'm gonna put heated Ange Heated Ange, or well, how could I phrase that conversation we had about Ange earlier? Because it wasn't us just laughing. I was trying to grill you a little bit. So
Yeah,
I got a little sweaty. What are we thinking, Kuva?
Jacob feeling the Ange.
Well, that's too many characters.
Okay.
So I've got alarm bell, heated Ange, alarm bell.
Violent attack.
Heated defend. No, wait. Heated Ange discussion? Heated Ange chat. That's 4 letters. Nice. Because I only had 6 letters to.
Not chat, row.
How do you what is a row and how do you spell it?
ROW, row. Argument.
Oh, a row? Heated Ange row. Sounds like a fucking section at SeaWorld. It's called the splash zone where Shamu's going to splash. You're going to get wet. You're in the fucking Heated Ange row, baby. You're getting some
got a
sweat
picture like of a
today.
whale there or something as well there. Just a little wee emoji of that. That'll do. Don't explain it.
Oh, man. Heated Ange row. Solanke to Spurs. Ange speaks on transfer window. Return of the Kuva. Or maybe I should have... I'm going to take out return of the Kuva... and I'm going to put that in the alarm bells. But I might need to sprinkle another alarm bell in there just so it looks, like it's an emergency. Heated Ange row and Kuva return. Because I think Kuva return needs to be in the alarm bells, if I'm honest. But Kuva, I happen to know, you didn't tell me this, and I ain't going to reveal my sources, but I was told by a certain somebody that you're live tomorrow.
We are live tomorrow.
Oh,
We're actually doing a Kuva and the Kang on 3 Spurs boys for a first time in about 3 months.
Yeah, y'all took a little bit of a summer break, but it's to be expected. Canadians, the summer, the sun. If it's not snow, ice, molasses, and moose, the Canadians aren't really there. And it's the summertime. It's hot. They probably. You know what I heard actually? It's like how ducks and birds they fly south for the winter. Canadians in the summer. They frolic up north where it's more frozen and uninhabitable lands because it reminds them of home.
Have you seen Bobby K?
Yeah, he's Indian.
Yeah, so he's going south anyway.
Well, not on YouTube. He's going all the way up. Go subscribe to 3 Spurs Boys because I believe they're only like 20-something away from 1K. They haven't been making content, but I'm assuming y'all are going to be. You've been doing the Brewing Bollocks dual stream from Ben Kaufman.
Yeah,
I've seen that, but
both Bobby and I have had different issues over the last few months. Not being too well or life getting in the way of things. So we just basically couldn't get streaming at all. So we've eased back into it a little bit with Ben's coffee shop and. The Brewing Bollocks things on Wednesdays. That's always worth a laugh. But we feel like we're back now. So there's going to be lots more really ridiculous, stupid content that's not much to do with football. I
can't wait for us to get our ass whooped in one match, and you and I do a post-match, and we crack jokes, and we laugh and have a good time, and try not to be miserable over the overlooming fact that we just got our ass whooped. And I can't wait for those people in the chat to come in and be like, how dare you smile in the face of tragedy? Like, okay. People get real fucking bent out of shape when you smile and they're not having a good day.
Or my personal favourite, because I want the team to play really attacking football and win. They'll ignore the fact that I want them to win. They'll just say, oh, you've got your attacking football now and we lost. Are you happy? And it's like,
well, see, that's the thing. When you write a really long sentence, you're hoping that they read the entirety of it. But you had it at the end. You should have said win and also attacking football, because then they would have finished the sentence. That's where you messed up, because they said
you're right.
And no matter what you say, it's like they'll tell you didn't say that. That's not what you know what I mean? That's the fun part about doing content.
Try that next. I'm going to condense even more. Next time it'll just be attacking, win.
Attack, win,
trophy,
hugs. Oh, trophy. Yeah, trophy. Yeah, trophy. That makes sense. Yeah. Are we winning a trophy this year? Before we go, are we winning a trophy, Kuva?
We've already won one.
Well, we've won 4, but we're not going to talk about the preseason quad right now. I save that for rival shows. I save that for when I go in front of other clubs and I say we have the preseason quad. You will never sing that. Also, our most recent trophy It's just like my son's plate. It has the dividers so you can separate the peas and the carrots and the corn. Corn, that doesn't make sense. I don't serve him corn, peas, and carrots. It's fucking, what is he, a goat?
Scott
A
M's
fucking
comment.
rabbit?
Scott M's comment's a good one.
If you smile after a loss, that is an unsubscribe and report the stream to YouTube. Copyright strike, abuse. 2 more likes and Chewy gets fed. 2 of y'all ain't liked the video. And come on. Lazy A, how dare you laugh? I know. I've been trying to go. Every time Paul the Hotspur Hippie is on, I like to make sure he knows you better not laugh. You better not smile. Because those 2 things are going to trigger me as a panelist. And if you trigger the panelist with smiles, movement, laughter, and general signs of life, not on this channel. Not today. That's not allowed. Okay. So, but big up everybody. Here's a fun photo for you, Kuva.
Nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
one more to go, baby. One more. We got. It's like a fucking hitman with his names, bro. That's how it's been these last 12 months. We are getting Sanchez out. We are getting okay. Dyer's gone. Lloris, Perisic, Hill's almost out. That motherfucker Girona. Here we go. Actually, he played for Girona. It's already done. He's gone. So we're good there. He's gonna come back potentially. God damn it! But I forgot about that. So he's. Gio, bro, we were sold a dream.
This is the bit I don't get. Hell to sign a new contract to go out on loan. So presumably he's on even more money, and it's going to be even harder to sell him now because his wages will be even higher.
Love it. I thought it was the
Makes
opposite.
no sense. Just give him away.
He was on like 75 or 80 a week.
God,
That's crazy.
We've seen the man. He can't even carry that amount of money, even if it's a check. Even a check is too much weight for him.
You give him that in coins and throw him in the fucking river and see what happens. I watch Sopranos. I know what happens. Big up David Shear gifting a membership before we get out of here. Big up to David Shear gifting 1 membo to Spurs King. That's officially 11 gifted memberships from David Shear. Big up David Shear, my brother. I hope you are well. Big up Benita Sotelo as well. Y'all 2 are the sponsors tonight, and thank you so much. I am redirecting to Sarcasm City, so make sure you go on over there, hit a like, subscribe, say what's up, Flawless, or just say Jacob Raid. But look, y'all, Solanke, I hope you could weed through my sarcastic. Yeah,
one final bit of hopeful optimism. Let us hope in the remainder of this window we make some signings that are so good. Even Scott M says that was okay. Yeah.
I can't wait till I can agree with Scott M about good shit on Tottenham. Because it's like, whenever I'm like, I agree with this from Scott, it's usually like some really not good shit. So I want to change that. I want it to be good shit that Scott says. And then I'm like, see, I agree with this and it's good. We'll get there one day. Come on, Tottenham. If you don't do it for, the millions of fans around the world, just do it for fucking Scott. He went all the way up north as Canadians do when the weather gets warm. They got to go up north closer to the Atlantic. Wait, which one's up north? Is it the fucking Antarctica? No, that's the south one. I don't fucking know. Anyway, Arctic Circle, you frosty bastards. Anyway, big up to everybody. Big up everyone. Negative is the word. He's extremely negative. I like to, I played Game Boy a lot as a kid. This is my final thought. I played Game Boy a lot as a kid. And when you get those batteries, there's a side that's positive and a side that is negative. And you need both of them for the battery to work. So how about that? That's a fun thought to end the show on. That's why I say it's good that Scott's here. It's good that we have people saying shit that...
I don't find Scott miserable or negative. I find him just very demanding. It's true. What he wants would be great for the club.
To be fair, if the club did the shit that Scott's standard of acceptability for things at this club is a lot higher than most people, and a lot too high for most people as well. It's higher than my acceptance. Like I'm a lot more pleased with things than he is, but I'm not thoroughly pleased. And I do agree with Scott in some instances, and I don't. And that's what's so good about fucking here in Texas. In the South, you make fucking chili. And you know what chili isn't? 1 or 2, 3 ingredients. It's fucking a whole bunch of shit. And you fucking cook it, and you stir it, and you fucking eat it on bun. toast, ooh, with some butter. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna end the show. That's episode 216, y'all. I've really enjoyed it. Hit a like and subscribe if you haven't already. The poll is there and it is ended now. 146 votes. What are your thoughts on Solanke to Spurs? 39%. The winner is laughable shame from Spurs if true. And then also, he's a solid striker, better than Richie, 33%. So it's kind of close, 6% difference there. Won't sign for Spurs and Levy won't pay 17%, and a measly 9% says Richie better, so I'm underwhelmed. And you know what? I'm a little bit of all of those. I'm underwhelmed with the Solanke links. I did laugh. I don't know if I feel shame, but I did laugh. I think he is a solid striker. That is true. You don't score 30-some plus in the championship and 19 in the Premier League if you're a dog shit striker. I don't think Richarlison, real quick, has ever scored 19 in a season. No, he hasn't.
Nah.
The most he's ever had was 13 in a season. So he's done that over Richarlison. I mean, again, we're fucking comparing, you know, is it 6 inches long or is it 7 inches long? You're splitting hairs. All right? Let's just play the outro and get on out of here. But before you do that, let me give you some last instructions. And it's not for you, Kuva, but it is for you if you want it. Stay blessed. Stay fresh. Up the lads. I love Ange Postecoglou. And the more that people hate on Ange, the more I'm going to lean in, just like I did with Romero. Okay, real quick. This is my final thought, I swear to God. I know 30 people left. I don't care. The 126 still listening or on playback. Help me get the likes to 150. But people did the same thing last year because they didn't like what they saw the year prior from Kuti, which I agree. He wasn't the best. Like the Conte season, the final Conte season, he wasn't the best. But I remember I was like, I didn't think he was as bad as people were saying. I remember last summer, 12 months ago, people saying if Real Madrid came in for 45 million for Kuti, I'd take it right now. If they came in for 40 for Son, I'd take it right now. And I remember being like, this is just disrespectful, blasphemy. But again, I'm not saying I know the end-all, be-all, but Kuti Romero last season, in my opinion, top 3 in the Premier League, top 5 in the world. If you factor in Argentina's success in there, top 3 in the world. So talk to me nicely about Kuti Romero every single time. And just 12 months ago, everyone wanted him gone. I hope Ange will do the same thing with my club. Time will tell. Not me, not anybody, not the truth, not the happy claps, not the negatives, not the toxic positives, whatever they call it. I don't care what you fucking want to label it. I love me some Tottenham, and we're going to shine someday. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. Maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 2 years. Who knows? But I love me some Ange Postecoglou. And I wanted to say, the more you hate on Ange, the more I wear the kangaroo tee. So you'll see a lot of kangaroo. But anyway, big up, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Stay blessed, fresh, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs.
United Spurs of America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.